Mobile Loaves and Fishes really is an outreach program that provides food, clothing, and dignity to our brothers and sisters in need, helps us address the economic challenges of our times, and is a mechanism to bring a lot of people into this conversation on economic justice in our community. In 2007, I was down in Austin, Texas, visiting my father, who was serving on the board of the Mobile Loaves and Fishes organization down there. And we went into the office here, and I asked him, what is this Mobile Loaves and Fishes thing? What are you guys doing? What are all these trucks you have outside? And I just sat there and I wept. I was pretty moved by it. I was moved by the simplicity of it, the notion of driving a truck into the community on the streets where people reside in need, and serving those people was something that just it got me up and off the sidelines.
The way Knox got involved was literally a call from God. Pastor who used to be here, he was in his office and Knox had finished refurbishing our kitchen, and he was praying, saying, okay, God, how are we going to use this kitchen? And literally right away the phone rang, and it was someone from Mobile Loaves and Fishes asking about using our kitchen, specifically using our kitchen. And so he was like, okay, we're going to do this.
This ministry is who we're called to be as Christians in the world. It's the very basic call. Feed those who are hungry. Reach out to those who may not see another friendly face or hear a kind word today.
And that's pretty rewarding when we're hitting the streets, going into some places that aren't part of our day-to-day lives. Those places have now become part of our day-to-day lives.
When I went to the first meeting that talked about the Mobile Loaves and Fishes program, I was taken by it right away. I just knew that I would want someone to be there for me if I was homeless, if I had no income. And this program has certainly, brought that for me.
So when we started, we thought, well, there's going to be so many homeless folks in the streets that it's going to be pretty easy for us to just drive around and open up the sides of our truck. And you know what? There are situations where that can certainly occur. We have found that a lot of the folks in need here in the Twin Cities are actually living in housing, yet they're really struggling financially to make ends meet. So a really fresh, warm, hot meal in a transitional housing site, if you will, is really the sweet spot of what we do.
There are two groups. There's a make-ready group that prepares the food, and then there's a truck group that goes out and distributes it. For each night, there's a separate truck crew and truck captain. We have designated locations, so each crew tends to go to the same place for about 6 months at a time and then rotates.
The setup. All right. We open her up. And we've got socks and toiletries on this side. And we've got hot sandwiches and cocoa on this side. And more food on this side. Coming up.
One of the things I'm most proud of is the fact that we are 100% volunteer driven here in the Twin City metro area. All the money we use goes directly to the people that we serve.
I feel that our volunteers are so committed to this program, and we allow them so many different opportunities to be involved so that they feel they are a part of this big need. They could be anywhere from a make-ready team, a truck team, a repackaging team, an egg ministry team, a laundry team. We have over 260 active volunteers. We decided that we would like to save some money for the program so that we could deliver more meals to more people. One of the team members came up with the idea of how about we order in bulk, then package these bulk down into individual packets.
And when we put them in here, then we open up the individual bags. Then we package them, and then we put them in here, and each one of these is for a day. So this one is 75, so that's a total of 150. By rebaking the chips and the cookies, we are saving 32 cents a bag. They sanitize the table, so each foil is a sandwich. Then we take the bulk beef, it was costing us $5 and something for sliced beef versus we get the bulk beef for $3.25 and we slice ourselves. And by slicing it this way, we are saving $2.25 a pound.
It's kind of grown as Mobile Loaves and Fishes grows. There's probably 4 rooms that are used for food and maybe even doubled in space. And we're so thrilled because it's the fact that we can use it to serve the community is just a blessing for all of us.
Our vision is that we would like to not duplicate anything that is already in existence. As a result of that, we have chosen community centers that have programs available to low-income individuals and families, youth development programs, apartment buildings that house homeless youth, and emergency shelters. And we also serve low-income senior citizen housing.
Do you have any hat and gloves? We do. Could I have a pair?
We are here 20 to 22 days a month. We can serve anywhere from 100 meals to 250 meals, depending upon the location we serve.
It's a little different experience, some different locations, in that some are pretty much all adults, others have lots of kids, some are a lot of single moms with kids. Sometimes we get stacked up 3 deep and people around the truck. There's that, that kind of demand. Other places, more typically, it's sort of a steady flow. But just seeing the appreciation of the recipients really is a heartwarming kind of experience, I think, for us.
And then we end up at 1010 Curry, the Salvation Army, and that's just a totally different experience. And probably the hardest part of the evening is we turn the corner and there they are, just waiting. And they are so respectful and grateful.
At the Indian Center on Christmas Eve, we had some stuffed animals, and 2 little girls came out with no coats, no boots, no mittens or anything to get a meal for their dad. And we were so excited to see them and said, it's Christmas Eve, we have stuffed animals. And the older child, about 6 years old, said, you gave me a stuffed animal last year, so just give my sister one.
It was a gentleman saying, can I have something for my kids? I've got 2 kids. And I said, well, how about for you? Well, I'm just worried about my kids. And it was just very touching. It was very sweet.
It is moving.
So, a couple weeks ago, I was so touched by one man that noticed we had a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches left. And he said, kind of in a whisper, he said, do you think you could give me 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for tomorrow? And because he knows we're only supposed to give him 1. And I looked at him and he said, I just got a job. And he said, and it's really a long, hard day without lunch.
We were at a homeless shelter and serving food, and I brought socks. And someone took the socks and his feet were wet, and he went on the side of the curb and took off his shoes, and lo and behold, he had no socks. And he put on those pairs of socks, and he looked at me and just smiled. And I thought, Lordy, that sock was worth $1.50, and I gave him warm feet. There's nothing better.
Everybody should be a regular in somebody else's life. And to see how that happened, to see members of the truck team greet the people they have seen before and be greeted by them has been really, really exciting.
We're all asking this question, what does poverty look like? It's not identifiable like it used to be. You don't have the classic pictures of the factory workers or the ex-bankers lining up in soup kitchens in the streets of New York City. When you look at people waiting in line to get free health care or dental care at a given site on a given day, those folks look like your neighbors. They look like you and I.
An effort to reach more families with free food is branching out to the suburbs.
A food catering truck rolled up to a parking lot at 69th and Humboldt in Brooklyn Center for lunch yesterday. The food was given away to families in need. It's a program called Mobile Loaves and Fishes.
They love this idea of a food truck, where you just take the type of food truck that you may see downtown and you just load it up with food and you take it to a place that needs it and you just give all the food away. And you just start handing it out until it's all gone.
The whole model is built to be flexible and to be reactionary when needed. So when the storm hit in North Minneapolis a few years back, Mobile Loaves was the first operation escorted into that community by the police to deliver value, to deliver food, to deliver water. Clothing was a real need at that point in time, and to let them know they're not alone and that we're here as a community with you. And we spent the next 3 to 4 weeks in North Minneapolis doing just that.
The word has gotten out about the program, and there are more people in need.
People always ask me what they can do for Mobile Loaves and Fishes, and it's anything from the littlest thing to buying a package of socks. Fruit can easily be $25 a night. Bread, enough bread to serve 150 sandwiches, $20. Doesn't take much money. Everything we get goes right back to the street.
Knox continues on with it because there's a need, because it is what we're called to do. It is a way to serve. It is a way to build relationships within the community.
What it also does is say, we are all one in the body of Christ, in the body of humanity. We are all together. No one is less than, and no one should go without.
It's a fairly humble story. We provide 30 to 35,000 meals a year, and we're delivering that meal on the streets with folks in need. That's a story that really resonates with people, and people seem to really want to roll up their sleeves and get involved. The need is not going away. It's not decreasing. In fact, it's growing, and it's looking very different to us. So we need to continue to grow our operation to suit that need, and that's where anybody and everybody can help us.